I've been doing Pokemon challenges on my channel for a while now, but it's a crazy thought that I've actually never completed a full Nuzlocke before. With that said, this is my attempt at a Hardcore Nuzlocke in Pokemon Emerald. For those who don't know what a Hardcore Nuzlocke is, the rules are simple. If a Pokemon faints, it's considered dead and it can't be used anymore. I can only catch my first encounter on each route. No items in battles but held items and Pokeballs are allowed. I must play the games in set rules. I cannot level over the gym leaders or the Elite Force Ace. And lastly, I'll be adding Dupes Clause because I don't want multiple of the same Pokemon. That would just be boring. I feel like I'll be able to do this. All I need to do is rely on my game sense, and I also need to do a lot of researching. Before getting into the video, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys subscribe since it greatly helps me out. And if you guys would please like this video, that would be nice too. With all that being said, let's get right into this Nuzlocke. After being released from behind a truck, thanks mom, and moving to Liru, we find Professor Birch being chased by a tiny Poochyena. Seriously dude? So I saved him by grabbing Torchic and scratching it over and over again. He then gives me Torchic and we named it Tangerine, thanks to the person who suggested this naming theme. Now that our journey officially begins, I started heading over to the gym. And while walking by routes 102 and 103, we ran into both a Wingo and a Wurmple, naming the Wingo Kiwi and the Wurmple Fruitfly. Further along the line, we made it to Petalburg Woods, and here we encountered and captured a Shroomish. I proceed to name it Lime. Roxanne uses rock types, so Lime would be a huge help for this gym. Before finishing the gym, I needed to grind up to the level cap, which is something we're gonna be doing a lot throughout this run. And you guys know how much I love grinding. During that process, Fruitfly evolves into Beautyfly, which is gonna be phenomenal during Brawly's gym. But before getting ahead of ourselves, I decided that it's time for us to face Roxanne. As I expected, Roxanne was pretty easy. Because Kiwi had Water Gun, I was literally able to knock out her two Geodudes with one shot. Afraid that Rock Tomb was gonna do a crap ton of damage on Kiwi, I sent in Lime to stall it out with Leeching and Stun Spores. This was proven to be effective, and after spamming a few absorbs for an easy KO, I was able to knock out her last Pokemon, winning us a battle and getting us a Stone Badge. With Roxanne out of the way, we were able to help out an old man with his Pico. And because of this, we have a way to get to Dewford Town, where the fighting type gym is gonna be. But before attempting it myself, I decided to get myself the Old Rod. This is actually freaking amazing because this opens up a few important encounters for me. For example, in Route 106 and Route 109, we ran into a Tentacle and a Magikarp, naming the Tentacle Olive and the Magikarp Dragon Fruit. In Granite Cave, we ran into Makuhita. Not just any Makuhita though. A Makuhita with a fucking adamant nature and the ability Guts. I cannot explain how amazing this is. He automatically became my ace, overshadowing basically everyone on my team. I captured it and named it Lemon. During the process of getting everyone to the level cap, Tangerine evolves into Combuskin, which is a really amazing Pokemon, so let's hope nothing tragic happens to him. Remember when I said Fruitfly was gonna be phenomenal for Brawly's gym? Well, I wasn't kidding. Because bug types are resistant to fighting types, this gives me free range to just spam Gus. This was so efficient that I was able to sweep his entire team by just using Gus, making this a pretty easy gym battle, winning us a battle and getting us a Knuckle badge. Imagine being so buff just to lose to a tiny little butterfly. As we continue our journey to Mauville City, we discovered an Electrite in Route 110. I proceed to capture it and named it Banana. We're really lucky because this would be really helpful for Winona's gym. On my way to Watson, Dragonfoot evolves into the intimidating Gyarados. This makes my run 10 times easier, like no joke. If I play my cards correctly, this guy can become my ace easily. Before making it to the next gym, I was forced to have another rival battle with Brandon. This one in particular is infamous for being a run killer, so needless to say, I was pretty terrified. He leads with Lombre, so to counter that, I sent in Fruitfly. Here, I was able to use Gus on him to knock him out. Next is his Slugma, Nuts. Here, I got out f***ing played as I sent in Kiwi. He uses f***ing Rock Throw. Luckily I survived, but holy crap was that a scare. To avoid taking any more damage, I sent in Lemon to take care of it with Arm Thrust. And now it's time for his last Pokemon, Marshtomp. I switched into Lime and after a few Mega Drains I was able to knock him out. Thankfully this run killer didn't end my Nuzlocke. After that battle, I feel pretty confident in my ability as a Pokemon Nuzlocker. We are actually doing pretty well. I'm gonna try doing this run deathless because I'm pretty confident that I can do it. I got my first death! Oh my god, Kiwi died! Why? Oh my god, god damn. And that's what I get for being over fucking confident. God damn it. To be fair, Kiwi was never too good in the first place, but does this suck. He was my first capture, so I felt really attached to it. Rest in peace, buddy. You will be remembered. I make my way to Watson, and while facing the gym trainers, both Lime and Lemon evolve into Breloom and Hariyama. Lemon and Lime. Nice. My dudes are coming in clutch, and now it's time for us to face Watson. He leads with Voltorb as I send in Lemon. I used Fake Out to do a good chunk of damage to him, and a Vital Throw was able to knock him out. Now it's time for his own Electrike. I was able to use another Vital Troll to easily knock him out, and as he faints, his static activates, activating my guts, which makes me extremely overpowered. Next is his Magneton, but he was no match, so a few arm throws was able to knock him out. Knowing Lemon has the ability to knock out Manectric, I stayed in and spam a few Vital Throws, eventually knocking him out, winning as a battle and getting us a Dynamo badge. In the fiery path, we encountered a Torkoal. Not the best fire type, but there's probably some uses for it. I named it Charcherry. After Kiwi's death, I've been pretty disappointed in myself. I was really hoping for a deathless run, so for now on, I'll be trying my best to prevent that from— Oh my god! I lost my starter, oh fuck! Okay, that was on me. I should have expected to self-destruct, but Jesus fuck! Is that frustrating? I'm so sorry, Sandarine. You didn't deserve that. After the event in Meteor Falls, I head to Mount Chimney where we're confronted by Maxie, the leader of Team Magma. Maxie alongside Archie are pretty easy opponents. Every time we have a battle with them, we're gonna have at least one Pokemon that's gonna counteract theirs, so don't expect them to be too challenging. I lead with Lemon as he leads with Mightyena. There can only be one outcome with this exchange, and after a few Vital Draws I was able to knock him out. Next is his Zubat. I switched into Banana, and after a few sparks, I was easily able to knock him out. His last Pokemon is Camerupt. Knowing he can't do that much to Dragon Fruit, I switch into him, and I proceed to spam Dragon Rage, knocking him out and getting us a pretty easy victory. While getting ready for the gym, a lot of things happened. The first thing that happened was Banana evolving to Manectric, which is really cool. I also ran into a Machop with a jolly nature. I caught it and named it Huckleberry. And the last thing that happened was Olive learning Bubble Beam, which might be just enough for us to beat Flannery. With the team I have right now, I thought I would struggle at least a little bit during the battle, but surprisingly, it didn't go that way. She first sends out her Numel as a lead with Olive. Because Olive has Bubble Beam, I was literally able to one-shot her Numel, Camerupt, and Slugma without even a scratch on him. It wasn't until she sends out Torkoals where I felt a little concerned. I remember Torkoal being a handful in my previous challenges, so I proceed with caution. I switch into Dragon Fruits in hopes of knocking him out with Dragon Rage. When that wasn't working, I switched into Lemon, and one fake out was able to knock him out, winning us a battle and getting us a heat badge. Since you guys made it this far, let me direct your attention to the subscribe button. If you guys like what you see so far, click it. It'll support my channel a lot, and you guys can always unsubscribe anyways. And with that being said, let's get back into the video. As I stepped out of the gym, Brandon gave us the Go Glasses, and this gave me the ability to go into the Mirage Tower. In there, we were given an option to choose one of the two fossils. Here, I want you guys to predict what fossil I'm gonna choose. I'll give you guys 5 seconds. If you guys predict the root fossil, congrats! This time you guys will get a plate of lumpia. Just don't leave any crumbs while you're here. I make my journey back to Petalburg City for our next gym battle, and in between there, I find myself in Rustboro City to revive the root fossil, getting myself the Pokemon Lilip, and also naming it Eggplant. My reasoning for choosing Lilip is simple. A lot of my Pokemons are what you guys may consider a glass cannon, so I wanted someone a little bit more bulkier than usual just in case I find myself in a situation where I have to switch them in to take a huge hit for me. Hopefully Eggplant will be useful for my team. While preparing for our father's gym, Olive evolved into Tentacruel, and with that, I feel pretty confident that Norman's gonna be an easy battle. Norman leads with Spinda as I send in Lemon. I use Fake Out to do some decent damage and one Vital Draw should knock him out. But just my luck, when he uses Side Beam on me, he managed to confuse Lemon, and I proceed to hit myself in confusion over and over again, which is always great. So because of that exchange, I decided to switch into Lime for one last time. With my priority move, I was able to outspeed, and Mach Punch was able to take him out. After Dragon Fruit intimidated Norman's Vigoroth, Lime was able to use Mach Punch to take him and Linoon out. And now it's time for his ace and his last Pokemon, Slaking, which is the only Pokemon I was really afraid of. This thing hits like a fucking truck, which is something my team can't really deal with right now. So to work around that, I decided to switch into Dragon Fruit to lower his attack with Intimidation. Now that I felt safe, I switched into Lemon to remove his berry with Knockoff, and 2 Vital Trolls were able to knock him out, winning us a battle and getting us a Balance badge. Imagine getting outplayed by your own son. My dude, this is your job. I expected more from you. On my way to Fortree City, I decided to help out Watson with the generator in New Mauville. Here I encountered a Voltorb, and I proceed to name it Apple. Because of our efforts, Watson gave us a TM for Thunderbolt, which is going to be really useful considering the champion of this region is a water type expert. In Route 119, I decided to do some fishing, and I caught a Carvana. I proceed to name it Raspberries. Sharpedo's a pretty decent Pokemon that can learn a few useful moves, so there's no doubt in my mind that he'll be pretty useful in the near future. Further along the route, we have another rival battle with Brandon. He leads with Lombre as Ascendant Eggplant, and no joke, I was literally able to sweep his entire team by just stalling him out with Toxic. It was pretty scummy, but I wanted to see how bulky this guy actually was. so I thought this was a perfect opportunity. Feeling pretty confident that I absolutely destroyed my rival, I make my way to Winona. She leads with Swablu as I send in Banana. Swablu, being a weak flying type, of course gets knocked out with a shockwave. Almost immediately, she sends out her ace, Altaria, which is really scary. Expecting an earthquake, I switch into Dragon Fruit to not only avoid the attack, but so I could also lower it with Intimidation. That of course didn't happen, and he uses Dragon Dance instead. And so it begins. I switch into Eggplant to use Toxic, and I pivoted into Dragon Fruit so he can intimidate it, because there's no way in hell am I letting this guy stack up on me. After a few strings, Poison was finally able to knock him out. He then sent in his Tropius. Wanting to give Charcherry some action, I switch into him, and a couple of flamethrowers were able to knock him out. As Winona sends in her Pelipper, I switch into Banana. This gives me free range to spam Shockwave, easily knocking out her Pelipper and Skarmory, winning us a battle and getting us a Feather Badge. Not gonna lie, this was pretty scary, but at least we made it out without anyone dying. Before heading to Mossdeep City, I decided to EV train Raspberries because I believe she is the key for me to beat both Tay and Liza as easily and efficiently as possible. During the intense workout, Carvanha evolves into a Sharpedo. With this new amazing Pokemon, I headed to Mount Pryor to carry on with the story. And while we're here, we see Archie making the biggest mistake in gaming history by grabbing the red orb instead of the blue one. Thanks to that, we have to go through a lot of story stuff related to Team Aqua and Team Magma on our way to Mossdeep City. Luckily, they weren't that bad, and we were able to stop them from world domination, for now at least. In the gym, Eggplant evolves into Cradily, making him a little bit more bulky, and with that, I now feel ready to beat Tate and Liza. They lead with Xatu and Claydol as they send in Raspberry and Eggplant. I was able to use Crunch on Xatu to knock it out, but an Earthquake from Claydol does so much damage on Raspberries. Toxic from Eggplant would guarantee me to knock out Claydol, but honestly, that would take too long. As long as Eggplant survives though, I think I should be fine. I should be able to solo out the remaining Pokemon by healing myself up with a Giga Drain. And the plan just goes down the drain. Just great. Because of this, I got a little bit heated, and a lot of unfortunate events happened during this battle. Wanting Claydol gone, I used Dragon Rage and I switched into Lemon to fake it out. Luckily this was enough, but now their two ace Pokemon are out, which is really terrifying. Looking back, I should have switched into Raspberries instead of Charcherry, because I'm pretty sure a Crunch would have taken out the Solrock. But of course, I didn't do that, and because of a huge mistake, Banana was taken out by a +2 Psychic. Fuck, this is not looking good. Against my better judgment, I decided to sack off Eggplant, and in that process, Charcherry was also taken out with Psychic. I wanted Raspberry to have a safe switch in, and while she's in there, she got to see her partner die right before her eyes. I thought I wasn't gonna win this battle, so as a last minute effort, I switched into Lemon, and I tried my hardest to knock out this Lunatone. Thankfully, Solrock was taken out during that also, and after 2 serves, we were able to knock out their last Pokemon, winning us a battle and getting us a Mind Badge. August 13th. 2021. The day I lost half my team thanks to Tate and Liza. This was devastating. I played this so poorly, and a lot of deaths that occurred could have been avoided. Just like that, this Nuzlocke just got 10 times harder. But just because I lost a few Pokemon on my team, it doesn't mean I lost a run entirely. So I'm gonna be trying my best to win this Nuzlocke for them. I'm not stopping until I avenge them. After that fight, I realized that I may not have the chance to beat this Nuzlocke anymore. You see, Juan's Kingdra has the potential to sweep my entire team if I don't play carefully. So I had to do a bunch of brainstorming just for that one Pokemon. After a few hours, I thought of something so stupid that it might actually work. Now, I never actually got my encounter in the Safari Zone, so I was hoping for an Oddish. And luckily I got it, because if that didn't work, then my entire plan would just crumble. My plan was to EV train him in special attack, so that Vileplume can use Sunny Day and Solar Beam to sweep his entire team. So we got that covered. I captured it and named it Nashipair. I even brought Apple to the team as a backup just in case Nashipair doesn't have what it takes to finish him off. Now for the Kingdra. The plan involves Olive being back on the team and teaching him Thief. I know, that's really weird, but I don't want Kingdra to have the ability to rest on me. I also taught Dragon Fruit Rain Dance at level 45, and Thunder, so the double team wouldn't matter since Thunder doesn't miss in a rain. Hopefully my crazy but stupid plan is enough to beat him. However, before facing Juan, we have to deal with Maxie and Archie for one last time. For Maxie, it was a double battle, and it went relatively well. Matang was able to take out Camera up with a Psychic, Lemon was able to knock out Mightyana with a Vital Throw, Apple was able to knock out Golbat with Spark, Skarmory used Steel Wing to KO Crobat, and Raspberry was finally able to finish off this battle with one Surf. As for Archie, he wasn't any better. He leads with Mightyana as a Send and Lemon to use Fake Out and Vital Throw to knock it out. Next is Crobat, which Apple absolutely destroys with a few sparks. And now it's time for his last Pokemon, Sharpedo. I switched into Dragon Fruit and after one strength, I was able to knock him out, winning as a battle and finally ending this villain arc. Remember how I said Archie was making one of the biggest mistakes in gaming history by choosing the red orb? Well, we see that now with Kyogre being f***ing pissed. But before dealing with that big ass whale, I decided to get my last encounter on my way to Sootopolis City, a Chinchou named Clementine. As we arrive to Sootopolis, we see Kyogre and his brother Groudon starting to fight, so it's all up to us to tell their dads about their shenanigans to prevent world devastation.
Hey! Shut your ass up, I'm trying to sleep!
With that out of the way, we can finally take on Juan. With how much I prepared for this battle, I feel pretty confident that I'll win. He leads with Lupdus as Ascendant Nashi-pair. He attempts to confuse me, but because of the Prison Berry I have, I was able to heal up, and I was really able to set up the sun. With the ability Chlorophyll, I was able to outspeed, and of course a Solar Beam was able to knock it out. Next is Cecilio, which of course goes on to another Solar Beam. And now it's time for his ace, Kingdra. I switch into Olive to steal their Chesticle Berry, and here I try knocking it out with Sludge Bomb. After getting confused, I switch into Dragon Fruit to set up the Rain Dance, so that Thunder would never miss. This didn't really work as I thought, and I barely did any damage. So after paralyzing it, I switch into Lemon, and thankfully, a combination of Fake Out and Smelling Salt was able to knock it out. After Intimidate from Dragon Fruit, Juan's Wish Cash barely did any damage. Thanks to that, Nashi-pair was able to set up the stun, and Solar Beam was able to knock him and Crawdont out, winning us a battle and getting us a rain badge. It's crazy to think that we completed our last challenge before the Elite Four. I once again feel pretty confident that I can beat this game. Thank God my plan actually worked. Like, what the hell? It's so stupid. Looking at the Elite Fours in the Champions team, I realized that Lemon and Apple might not be viable for the last few battles. Lemon is a bit too slow, and Apple is kind of a glass cannon. So for that, I decided to add Huckleberry and Clementine on my team. I'll even EV train them in their respective stats because I really want to secure a victory. I've come so far, so I really want to win this. On the victory road, we have our last rival battle on our journey. We are so close to the finish line. Let's do this, let's finish this guy off. He leads with Altaria as I send out Raspberries. To no one's surprise, I was able to knock him out with Ice Beam. Next is his Roselia, which also goes down to one Ice Beam. As Wally sends out Magneton, I switch into a Nashi-pair. After setting up the stun, I was able to spam Solar Beam for an easy KO. He then sends out his ace, Gardevoir. Knowing he only has Psychic type moves, this gave me free range to safely switch into Raspberries, and the Crunch was able to knock it out. Last is his Delcatty, but she was easily taken care of with a Surf. With Wally out of the way, we can finally go through Victory Road. And of course, we had a few close calls here.
You're acting like it's my fault. I don't have the power to control that.
Well, there's something about it. Oh no! Oh my god. No, I thought like you like longer.
Shit. Yes, Thunderbolt? Excuse me? But nevertheless, we made it to the Pokemon League. We are actually so close to finishing this Nuzlocke. Before I head into the Elite Four, I want to show you guys my final team. Here it is. This team is usually something I wouldn't use in my regular playthrough of Pokemon Emerald, but with what I have right now, I think I have a chance to win this Nuzlocke. With that said, let's get right into the Pokemon League. The first member is a Dark-type Elite Four member, Sydney. He leads with Mariana as I send in Huckleberry. Even with Mariana's Intimidate lowering my attack, I was able to one-shot him with Facade. And not only that, Shifter shares the same fate. He then sends out his ace, Absol. Afraid of the aerial ace, I switched into Dragon Fruit, which ended up being a really good call because instead of attacking, he uses Sword Stance. This allowed me to get an easy KO in return. He sends in his Cacturn and Olive made easy work of it with Sludge Bomb. And now it's time for his last Pokemon, Crawdont. Because of a lucky poison, it only took one Sludge Bomb to knock it out, winning us a battle and making this the first member down. Next is a Ghost-type Elite Four member, Phoebe. I really don't know how to talk about this because all that happened during this battle was me using Substitute and Dragon Dance until I'm +3 in attack and speed. With these buffs, I was able to sweep her entire team by just spamming Earthquake. Her team isn't strong enough to handle it, winning us the battle and making this a second member down. Now, it's time for the Ice-type Elite Four member, Glacia. I sent in Huckleberry as she leads with Celio. Thanks to Poison Boosted Facade, I was able to one-shot the entirety of her team without any problems. I did get a bit of a scare though with Glalie having Explosion, but luckily he just f***ing died. So we're good, winning us a battle and making this a third member down. On to the last Elite Four member, Drake the Rapper. It's actually pretty crazy how well we are doing right now. I thought I was at least gonna lose one Pokemon, but thankfully, we haven't yet. He leads with Shelgon as his Sentient Dragon Fruit. Expecting him to use Protect, I used this opportunity to hide behind a cute little substitute. This gave me the opportunity to use Dragon Dance until I'm +3, and because of that, I was able to cheese his entire team by just using Return, winning as a battle and making this a final member down. Dragon Fruit is actually so overpowered. This is awesome because now we have a full team for the champion, and I'm in a really good position right now. With all that being said, it's time for us to face the champion of the Hoenn region. I walked into the final room, and I came face to face with the man trying to stop me from completing this challenge. Wallace. I'm not letting my preparation go down for nothing. I won't stop until I avenge my fallen friends. With how well Dragon Fruit is doing right now, I believe it's a good idea for me to send him in as he leads with Wailord. Expecting him to use Rain Dance, I used Substitute to set up Dragon Dances. This sadly didn't work because Blizzard was able to take out the sub. Being the stubborn motherfucker I am, instead of switching out, I just started using Dragon Dance. This was really stupid because I have to dodge both a crit and a freeze at the same time. This was really risky, but luckily I wasn't punished, and I was able to not only get +3 in my stats, but I was also able to hide behind a sub. With all this set up, Wallace had no chance in defeating Dragon Fruit, and I was able to sweep his entire team, and with a few returns and 54 HP, I knocked out his last Pokemon, and finally completed my first ever Nuzlocke. I can't believe I actually managed to do this. This challenge really put my knowledge about Pokemon to the test, and finally, I was able to succeed. This was actually really fun, and I would love to do more of these. With one Hardcore Nuzlocke under my belt, I believe that I can do even more challenges like this, with the Hardcore Nuzlocke rule set. So if you guys have any suggestions, please comment them down below. I would love to hear it. But before we end off this video, let's take a moment to remember those we have lost throughout the journey. Thank you guys for contributing to the team. You guys will always be remembered. With that, thank you guys for watching me suffering, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.